Good morning, junior hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with juniorhockey.io, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the absolutely amazing Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, YouTube, X, wherever you are this morning. Hope that you enjoyed the weekend games. We got Eric Ballard back from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Eric, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I think that the numbers speak for themselves, and that when we're averaging way over 1,000 views every show, that we got to keep you on the regular, because this is really popular, having the conflict. What's the word I want to use? The contrasting opinions between you and I. Yesterday was the rubber match, the grand finale of the World Juniors last night in Ottawa, and U.S. came out on top. You know what? It was a game back and forth. Finland was in control. Then all hell broke loose. U.S. came back to tie it up. It was a complete back and forth chaotic mess in the third period. And then the U.S. took it overtime. Eric, I'm sorry for you coming up short this year, but you won 2 years in a row. But what was the biggest factor for the U.S. win yesterday, in your opinion?
Well, I tell you, yesterday, like they just stuck to the plan, right? Like, Finland looks so good. If you would rewind 24 hours and you would look at Finland, how they played the game before, even though they beat Sweden, they were a little passive. They didn't touch the puck much in the third period and much in overtime. Boy, they controlled the play really well early on against the U.S. team. And, good for the U.S. team. Like, they stuck to it. But Finland, when they were up 3-1, I thought it was going to be an absolute one-way street. It didn't end up that way. So good for the U.S. winning the gold.
You know what? I saw a lot of things that I liked during this event. I was very surprised that U.S. only got one power play opportunity in the final. That says a lot about Finland being able to hold on to their character and really stick to their plan without doing a lot of dumb penalties. And that really was a difference maker and kept it close.
Yeah, no question. Like, the Fighting Finns were on it, man. Like, there was a great game, really good game. And like I said, early on, you would have thought that the Finns would have been walking away with it. But the U.S., they stayed the course. David Carl and Killer Miller and Larson, those guys did a great job keeping those guys focused and on task. And U.S. comes away with the gold. So congratulations. It's awesome.
We both have some connections with David Carl. He's an Anchorage kid. I'm going to say kid because he's like, I don't know, 23 years younger than me. When I was in Alaska, he was still way young, right? He wasn't even close to being at the junior level yet. And so I really didn't know him as a player. We have a lot of common friends in Alaska since then. And it's just been fun watching this guy's career. Him and his family, his little brother played in the World Juniors, got a gold medal earlier on. He comes back and gets 2 as a head coach. You got to like what this guy has done as a college coach, as a junior coach. And at 35 years old, he's got to be one of the biggest stories coming out of this event.
Oh, no question. Like, he's a half a step away from taking an NHL job. There's no question. David Carl, you know, his playing career was cut short for a medical reason. And, you know, his older brother, Matt, played, I think he was drafted by San Jose, played in San Jose for a while and played somewhere else. But that Alaska's produced some really good hockey players. You know, David went to Shattuck, but he's obviously one of the top college coaches in the country, if not the top college coach in the country. And, you know, he just won another gold medal. Like, What a great experience. And like I said, you and I met 1990, geez, buddy, 94, 95.
Yeah.
When you were working with the Alaska Aces, the Anchorage Aces, and I showed up to play, and I wasn't very good, and so we've been friends ever since. So it's like I think it's really cool to see what he's done, not only as a collegiate play coach, but on the world stage. It's pretty awesome. Very good.
Oh,
Congratulations to David Carl and his staff.
I heard something in the broadcast. I think Matt is younger than David is. Matt is older.
No,
Matt is
no,
older. And
Matt's
who's
older. Matt's older. Matt's quite a bit older. Yeah.
so was Matt the one that won World Juniors in the past, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then,
I think Matt. I'm not quite sure. He's like 5 to 7 years older than and David. Yeah. He played for San Jose, and he was a big D man, tough D man. Yeah. Yeah. There's a big age discrepancy there.
I think Matt might have been in high school when we were there in the last couple of years.
I think he might have been. He might have been even before that because when you and I were in Alaska, we had Scotty Gomez was at East at Anchorage East.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Was,
a long time ago, buddy. Long time ago.
I tried pulling a fast one on Sioux City, and I rostered Scotty on my roster for the Hellfighters with the only intention of trading him to Mike Hastings in Omaha. Mike was all over it. Scotty didn't want to go to Sioux City. And I pissed off, oh my God, I pissed off those guys so bad for that trick. And end up where the league came back and says, no, you can't interfere with our guys. He didn't play any games for you, therefore you can't trade him. So he went and played in Surrey Eagles instead of going to Sioux City. No one wanted to go to Sioux City back then. I think they had chicken wire on the glass where there was no glass on one side. It was all chicken wire back then, but it was hilarious. Good times a long time ago, folks, a long time ago.
Buddy, so funny you say that. I was coaching the Minnesota Junior Hockey League, and I put Marianne Gabrick on my protected list. And at that time, the protected list was administered by John Cowley, and those were nothing more than IMRs that you had to hand sign and actually fax in. And I was coaching the Minnesota Junior Hockey League, going to team in the Minnesota Junior Hockey League. We put Marianne Gabrick on our roster, and the rest of the league lost their minds because he was playing for the Minnesota Wild, but still a 19-year-old. Yeah, it was. It was something I learned it from you. I learned it from you.
I pulled some tricks. Riggin Brothers, Banners, a bunch of them. We got a lot of good kids too, Hank.
James Banner played for me last year. His 20 bomb year played for me in Minnesota.
It was fun. We had a good time up there, and I just love Alaska hockey. We've been working really hard here in the last month, trying to get a fourth team into Wasilla. Probably the last 3 or 4 months. I worked exceptionally hard with Keith Morris, probably over the course of 2 or 3 years ahead of the Wolverines getting up there and getting going. It's interesting that Alaska hockey's come so far, and we're almost to the point, full circle, back to having 4 teams again, which I think is very important to keep Alaska junior hockey relevant and really sustainable in the future. Eric?
No question. I coached in that state, and it was all because of you, buddy. And to have a team in Anchorage, a team in Valley, a team in Fairbanks, at least 3 teams. And we at that time, we had a team in. Where the heck were they? They were in Canada. In Whitehorse.
Yeah.
And it was what a great division. Like phenomenal division, and you were a big part of the reason why I got into junior hockey, Steve-O. Like junior hockey was part of my bloodline because of you. So what a great opportunity for the state of Alaska. If they can put another NA team up there, I think it'd be great.
I remember that year. I think it was 1990. must be 98, 99. I wanted to go watch the Junior B Nationals in Minnesota at Blaine. And I paid my scout fee to go in there and watch. And then I get upstairs and then Prophet sees me, runs to USA Hockey, and they banned me from the building. It was awesome. Drove all the way to Minnesota, turned around, drove back to Florida. It was a good time. So.
I think we might have had breakfast in Blaine that morning, but it wasn't 99. It was a little earlier than that, buddy.
I think it was 99 because Christian was born in 98.
Yeah, I think it was the year. I think it was a couple years before that because in 99 I was running the Yellow Jackets in Minnesota, and I think it had been 97, 98, but I could be wrong.
We're getting old, brother. Those days are long past.
We are getting old, but you know what? We're still kicking the can down the road, buddy.
And it's interesting. I picked up some flack here over my Minnesota Mallard story the other day, and people are coming after me because that's what they do. League owners not happy with me. Why are you saying this? Why are you doing this? And I think it's pretty clear why I say and do things. Operators, you better do things for the right reasons and do things the right way and stop trying to screw over the kids and don't screw over the staffs. I mean, not paying guys, this is their job. They move their families to a market. That's their job. And you're not going to pay them. You're not going to pay them on time. You don't understand why they're upset because they're not getting paid. It's ludicrous. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for operators at this level of play, at the NEHL level, at the USHL level, or the Tier 2 level in Canada, or the NCDC. If you sign a contract to pay a coach, pay him and pay him on time. That's how he's feeding his family. It's ridiculous to hear this kind of stuff. And you and I have seen this in the past, and mostly at the Tier 3 level. And I think over the last 20 years, I think I've been the same guy when it comes to protecting players.
You've always been a big advocate for players, but also coaches. And I think that, the game of hockey is, at the end of the day, we're all trying to scurry to grab the extra nut. And, some of these owners, they shouldn't be owners. And I'm not saying who it is and who it's not, but, these guys come and go. These guys are, long-term ownership groups, sustainable. Tom Briggle. I give Tom Briggle credit in Bismarck. Tom Briggle's been there for many, many years. He's done a phenomenal job. Minot. The list goes on. There's a number of Craig Patrick and his group in Austin with Todd Howard. Like, there's some really good ownerships out there.
New owner, but Howard's still there.
But I'm saying what I'm getting at is there's some good ownership groups and there's some bad ownership groups. And unfortunately, it's the nature of the business, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. But those are the things you need to, as coaches, you need to avoid those landmines. You need to really do your research and do your homework.
And if people want to ask, why do we do things? Why do we say things? Because when coaches and parents do their homework, I want you to see that when making a decision. Do I sign a tender with an operation like that? Absolutely not. Coaches, do you take a job there? Well, there's been, I think, 4 coaches there this year. Probably not a good job to take with the current ownership in place. All right, folks. Hope that you enjoyed this show on Monday. Eric, how cold is it in Jackson Hole this morning?
You know what? It's actually been really good this morning. It's about 32 degrees. We're a little bit above freezing. We've had a little bit of a kind of a different winter this year. Snow, warm. Been good, buddy. Not like Orlando. We're not sitting by the beach.
All right, folks. Until tomorrow, you enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day in hockey.